Okay, so far, as far as this car goes, I bought it a few months ago. I've thrashed it around in the fields. We've taken off jumps. We've climbed fences with it. Done a whole bunch of stuff, and I've already had to replace. This is the old shock tower. As you can see, I'm replacing it with aluminum shock towers. I've already done the back. It's fairly simple. You take off this, because I already had to actually replace this part too. Once you get it's like 6 screws to take this part off. Then you have a screw here, here, and then that exposes the whole shock tower. And then you take off another screw over here. You take this screw right here off, and then once you take that screw here off, this whole thing flips open, which will let you get to the screw that's right in front of, it's down there, right in front of the motor. So it's fairly simple. It really only takes about 10 minutes to replace that, and then you throw on your mount for your cover. Alright, so that's pretty easy. I'm going to do that for the front also, the front shock tower. I didn't see any like hairline cracks or anything in it, but I figure since I've already put one aluminum tower on, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing since I have to take this off and redo this also. Alright, so, okay, and then what I do is I look at my other ones, right? About 1/8 of an inch in of thread showing. About 1/8 of an inch in of thread showing. That seems like it's worked for me already in the past. I haven't lost a wheel yet, so I think we're pretty good with that. Now, just a side note, a friend of mine, who's actually the cameraman right now, he suggested, it's a good idea, for these EMTAs, when you first get this car, it does have quite a bit of acceleration, so when you hit that first little throttle, you know, it likes to do a flip, and when it does, sometimes if you lose control or flip it, these doors like to fly open and your batteries fly open, and it happened to me the first run. I mean, I was chasing this car down, putting batteries back in over and over again while he was driving his car, you know, non-stop.
It's on the EMTA and MT4 bashing video. It's on the end of the video. Right.
So this actually worked awesome. I don't lose it anymore. Yeah, good idea. Here, the antenna, what I did, I just took this loose, you know, and what I did was I took a lighter and just kind of lightly bent this down. That way it doesn't interfere with the body.
Nice, that's smart.
That way, it didn't.
I should have done that with mine. Mine's just taped into my frame, which still works fine, but.
Cool. Alright, so. Alright, yeah, so there are 6 screws. It's just like the back.
So far the front end of this is the same as the back end.
Right.
Okay.
So we have 4 more screws on top. This is something you're gonna have to do a lot, and if you notice, did you see it just drop there? So that just tells me that this is going right into the shock tower. Yep. It's just like it's exactly like the rear.
That's good.
This is the part that broke. And in one of these bags, here we go. This is what it's actually supposed to look like. So this is trash now. Still don't see.
This looks like the piece that absorbs the shock from your. Yeah, so this piece is supposed to, I believe it looks like it's supposed to flex when you hit something.
Yep.
But it only takes so much.
But this was actually in the bottom, going into here. And if you notice, see that?
Oh yeah.
This is broken off.
That's missing. That's
something down here. So and it looks like it went into the actual piece down here. So if I bring my
see if there's a piece that has that on it.
Check it out. Look. Kaboom.
Nice.
See,
So
I got it. Now, like I was saying earlier, if you don't want to lose control of your screws, because sometimes you start getting really deep into it, and you're like, oh crap, I got all these screws. I don't remember where it went, you know. And remember, I'm just explaining this for the people who are beginners. Some of you guys are watching this going, I already know that. Well, guess what? We didn't all start out knowing everything. So I'm also probably just going to lay that like that because I know that's where it goes. So this is the part we're actually trying to get to, this shock tower right here. So if it's anything like the last one, there's it should just be 4 screws attaching it. This should hold the
do I buy an MT4? Do I buy an EMTA?
Right.
Because there's the price difference, there's the speed difference.
The parts probably aren't interchangeable.
The parts are semi-interchangeable. The electronics are all the same. They have similar parts, but like the A-arms here on this are totally different. Obviously the shock tower is completely different. They redid that totally. And I don't know how successful they were. I mean, you can speak better to that to me than I can. They obviously are breakable, but I don't know how well you feel they absorb bumps and how smooth they run as a shock system. They look cool.
Yeah.
And the new ones look really slick. There's the new shock towers that he put in. Nice, you know, they're kind of the same colors. The Ripper motor, CNC machined. Aluminum shock towers. They look pretty beefy, so I don't think shock breakage is going to be an issue in the future in this car. How much do those cost?
The shock towers are $37
each, or for the pair?
Each.
So there you're looking at $74 if you got to replace them, which is kind of pricey, but can be.
Alright, so there are a few pieces that you need to save from the old shock tower, so make sure that you clean it out to just plastic. For example, this. So, this is the shock tower. As you can see, there are no hairline cracks in it that I can see. So, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this in my spare parts. Anyway, here, as you can see, this is the new part. It does not come. I just opened it out of the bags.
Ooh, that part is pretty.
Does not come.
There's a reason that's 37. Oh, right. 37 bucks.
$37. But it's fairly identical. The only thing it does not come with, though, are the Phillips head screws that hold the towers on, and I do need a bigger. So these parts here, you gotta reuse. This part I'm gonna trash, but this just goes right into here. And I just look for the dirt line. That's where I had it before.
We keep our RCs clean around here.
Yeah. Here we go. I've got it apart. We're gonna go ahead and put it back together. There's grooves here. Obviously, the grooves slide right over top of that. What you want to do is put this piece back into there. Alright, I'll do that again, show you. Boom. Alright, and then you can come along to the other side. We got the thin part in here. Again, just like that. Now what you want to do is get there's 2 screws that go along the front here.
What's sliding in place again?
The actual shock tower. There's grooves here, and I'm gonna lift the wheel so you can see them.
Yeah, these things right here.
Yeah, the grooves there sit on top of the grooves here.
Okay.
Sit on top of these.
And by putting down the wheels, it sucks that down on top of them.
Sucks down.
Okay,
Yep.
good tip.
And we're good. And it's easier. I had to do the same thing for the back. Once you do that, you hold it up. You mount your bumper. There you go. You bumper mount in place. Then there were 4 long screws that held that. Now that actually passes through the shock tower and into, actually, yeah, it passes right through the shock tower, and that one screw, just doing this, should hold the shock tower down, so you probably don't have to hold it up anymore, but it's actually easier. Oh, here's another thing
Real quick.
if you can see.
There you go.
If you can see, I just over tightened it just so you can see what I'm talking about. Over tightened a little bit on purpose. If this is a real easy part to mess up. Now that you're screwing plastic into aluminum, I could keep on driving this thing to go right through the plastic, because you're not going to strip plastic behind it. It's aluminum.
Yeah.
So basically,
You'll
I
suck
screw
that
to it looks like it's starting to sink, and I stop. It takes a lot of willpower, because you can keep going, you know. And it will break, but that should go. Ooh, where does it go? All right. So here's the plate. In short, this was the old plate. It was put on in the wrong place, like that, from the factory. Just noticed that because.
And where should it have been?
It should have been like
Right
that.
there, yeah. Should have had all 3
like
lining up.
That. From the factory it came, and then the only reason I noticed that is because I have to replace this piece, which is in fact.
Here's the broken one.
Where's the new piece?
New piece is right there.
Right here. Which is in fact this piece.
You want to lay it down next to so you can see the broken
Right.
difference. There's the. You can see these these pieces right here.
Right.
On the new
So
piece.
these, which is the same as this, interlock into there, and then mount to your bumper. But
And I believe the top of that goes in these 2 screw holes right here.
right. So the problem is since this was put in the wrong place in the factory, like this sat out too far. This looks I mean, I don't know if I broke it or not. Anyway, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna mount this part on first before we replace it. So go ahead and do that now. Oh, you know what? That's another thing I was gonna say. I didn't have the screws. I'm not sure what screws it used.
Because that didn't have screws, we're missing 2.
Right, so I'm checking the screw cup. That's why I rushed through it, because I wasn't paying attention. Because I was like, "This is the easy part. I'm taking."
That's okay. Well, we can talk about this right here. These body pins, in case you didn't see what he just did, he mounted it like this. And if you look at this one, you can see on the underside there's a single one. And this is designed to be front or back. It's a universal piece. In the back, they're standard 2 pins, and up in the front, it's usually 1 pin.
Yeah, that way you don't have to buy. I love that. They actually save you a little money. You don't have to buy separate ones. If you break this one and you've got a spare one, you can just flip it over. You know what I mean? Throw it on the back, throw it on the front, whatever you want. But again, the threads are actually inside of here. I mean, you got the female screw threads are inside of here, not inside of here. So you don't want to overstrip this, because again, it's just plastic. Of course, they're both plastic, but you want to overstrip it. So that's it. That's the shock tower. Boom. I got to replace this wheel, but one day it's gonna look really cool. It's gonna have the whole thing. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like that.
Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, let's get a nice yeah, perfect.
The Batmobile is almost complete. Shebang. Cool.